Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. I'm Deziel and today I'm going to show you how to transform your basic skirt block that has one dart into a two dart or double dart skirt block. Before to do the skirt today, I just want to take a minute to talk about the maternity belly that I show you how to make the pattern and the assembling. I had a lot of requests concerning the pattern. I just did it in a PDF version and I'm offering it to you in my Etsy boutique. To do the two dart skirt, we're going to start with the basic block that has only one dart. You're going to trace all around and don't forget to indicate your pivot. Now, just to be conscious about what we're starting with, I'm going to do dotted line to indicate my basic original dart. Now I'm going to ask you to trace your hip line, so 90 degrees with the center front. When it's done, you're going to go 90 degrees from the hip line at the side seam notch level, and you're going to trace a construction line towards the top. Finally, from that line, you're going to trace a little square line touching the original side seam and waist point because we want to keep the same level. Now for this example, I'm going to have to give you measurement, but I want you to know that the measurement could vary a lot. First of all, because maybe you're using a different block than mine. And a second reason is that maybe from the hip to the waist, you have a smaller or a larger difference than I do. There's one important thing to remember is that we want to keep a little curve on the side seam. I would say the minimum curve would be to go in about a centimeter. That would be the minimum to go in to keep a slightly curve on the side seam. Now we're going to position the second dart. We're going to place it halfway between the side of the notch and the side seam. Then what we must remember is that further we go from the original needed position, shorter should be the dart and smaller it should be. Now I'm going to trace a line that's going to be the center of my second line. I like to do it 90 degrees from the hip line, or if you want parallel from the center front, same thing. But some people, they like better to give it a little angle. I'll show it to you after. First, I'll do my straight line. Now, if you do want to give a little angle to your second dart, first trace the straight line and then just move the bottom part at the hip level by about 1 centimeter or 3/8 of an inch and retrace. That will be your center of the dart. I like to keep my dart straight, my center of the dart straight, because already when you do your actual dart, those lines will be in an angle, so the dart will already look a little bit angled. Now let's find the length of the dart. I told you that we have to make it shorter. How much shorter? It depends on the length of the original one. Here this is a short dart, so I would say I'm going to shorten it maybe a 1.5 to 2 centimeter, more or less 5/8 to 3/4 of an inch. Now the width of the dart, this one on my block is a 2 centimeter dart on the front or 3/4 of an inch. The second dart should be a little bit smaller, and I think a dart should not be smaller than 1 centimeter or 3/8 of an inch. For this example, I'll do my second dart 1 centimeter and a half or 5/8 of an inch, and I'm going to measure half of that dart on each side of the middle line. Then you're going to connect with the new pivot. Now if you follow me, I did a new dart, so I made my waist smaller. To put it back to the original waist measurement, I'm going to have to take this measurement of the dart and add it to the side seam where I ask you to trace that square line. Now we're going to retrace the side seam using your French curve, and this time for sure the curve will be much softer. We have a last little correction to do since we cannot keep the waist straight like that with the square line. And to do it, I'm going to ask you to close both darts, even pin them. If you notice, I just fold one side, the side that is closer to the center front for both darts. Then it'll be much easier for me to just bring one side over the other to close my dart. Now when both darts are closed, we're going to fix the waist, but remember not to touch the center front area. So all the first part you should not touch. Start your correction right after the second notch and bring your correction all the way to the side seam and waist point. So now you see that I kept my 90-degree at center front. And what I want you to look at is the side seam waist point. If you do finish or do your curve in a way that you have more or less a 90-degree, it should go well with the back skirt at this area. Now what you have left to do is trace the jog for each one of the dart. Now what we have left to do before adding the seam allowance is to add on the middle line of each one of the dart. We need to add the punch hole, and this is going to be 1 centimeter or 3/8 of an inch higher or inside the dart on the middle line. You get ready to do the same thing for the back piece, so trace all around and make sure you indicate your pivot. Here again, we're going to trace the original dart. Now it's a good thing I'm going to repeat. We'll do exactly the same steps. So first the hip line, and then I will square up. Here again, we're going to keep the same level. We want it to match with the front skirt. So again, you're going to trace 90-degree from the new line, touching the original waist and side seam point. We're going to do it the same way that we did in the front. So from the side of the dart to the side seam, you divide by 2 and you find the middle point. Then you're going to trace the center of the dart line, square from the hip line, touching that middle point. Here again, if you did shift a bit the center of the dart line, you should do the same thing on the back. So remember, it was 1 centimeter or 3/8 of an inch, and you move your center of the dart line. Now it's time to find the length of that second dart. This back dart is a little longer than the one we had in the front, so it will allow us to go a little more up. For this one, I would say you could go up maybe 2.5 up to 3 cm. Now about the width of the dart, I like to take back the same measurement that I had on the front. So I have exactly the same shape for the side seam, and I'm gonna come out exactly the same thing. But you must know that it's not a law, it's not fixed. You could decide, for example, to make the second dart on the back a little wider, like a 2 centimeter or 3/4 of an inch, and go out by that amount on the side seam, and the skirt will still look good and fit good. For this example, I keep it simple, so I'll put exactly the same measurement, my 1.5 centimeter or 5/8 of an inch. I'll put half and half on each side of the middle line. Here again, we just connect with the new pivot. Now the width of the dart, or the value of the dart, we just add it to the side seam. You could look at the number where you trace the front side seam, flip your ruler, then retrace the other side. Now I'm going to fold the first side of the dart, so the one closer to the center back, both of them. Then you close both darts. When you do have difficulty to fold your dart and keeping the area where you want to work flat, just put the tip of the dart area close to the corner of a table. You'll see it's going to make your life much easier. Here again, you see that I kept my 90 degree at the center back. I'm going to do the correction from the second side of the dart all the way to the new side seam and waist point. Here again, just manage to have more or less a 90 degree at the side seam and waist point. Then you're going to get your jog for both darts. Again, to complete the back, before doing the seam allowance, you're going to place your punch hole 1 centimeter higher than the pivot, or 3/8 of an inch for both darts on the middle line. Now the construction for the double dart skirt is finished. Of course, I have to put my seam allowance. But also what's very important is that you think about an opening system that you will place or on the side seam or on the center back. The measurement or the length of the opening system is usually more or less 18 centimeter or 7 inch and a half. That's it for today. I hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching and I see you next time.